Richard, thank you so much for joining us on the Can Captures series here in lovely Cannes. I'm sorry you just had to walk up the crosshair in this horrendous heat.
Quite a bit, yes.
But thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So it would be great to first, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and telling us a bit about 51toCarbon.
Absolutely. So I'm Richard, the CEO and co-founder of 51toCarbonZero. We offer a solution to help media, marketing, and advertising companies grow their business with stronger sustainability credentials.
Amazing. Yeah, fantastic. And global, we were talking about earlier.
Absolutely. So we're headquartered in London. We've got offices in the US as well. Through our brands and clients, we work across multiple geographies, as you can imagine.
Yeah, of course. Amazing. Well, that sounds great. And you've mentioned to me earlier, of course, you've been to Cannes 3 or 4 times now as well. What do you think of Cannes? And are there any topics you're expecting to be discussed quite hotly this year?
Yeah. Hotly, I think it's a good
That's
word.
A good word.
I mean, Cannes is always great. I've been here a few times now. It's a place where people come and mingle with a different mindset versus being on a Zoom meeting similar. So it's good to have those type of conversations, also more open. This year, I think it's a year of transition for the industry. More broadly. There are new technologies coming in. There are market dynamics which are pushing people in a tricky situation sometimes, margin-wise, etc. So I think there's a lot of conversation so far, it's just been half a day, on how is the industry going to reshape after we go to the next 12, 18 months of this interesting economic juncture.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right about Cannes. I think it's a great place. People are in the right mindset to have these discussions, and people flying from everywhere to have that, right? Have you got many meetings booked and lots sort of happening?
Yeah, I mean, the challenging thing is to be on time for the meetings, because you're walking up and down. Yes, lots of meetings. It's good to see there is still interest on what we do on sustainability, despite the news headlines, which sometimes kind of push some headwinds in our direction. But the reality is that people still care. Brands still care. Even investors still care. We see lots of our clients who are PE-backed who still have to report on their ESG. And that's very important. So, the dynamics of the 6, 12, 18 months which we might be in don't really overtake on the long-term trajectory of what we're doing.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess it would be good to find out as well, maybe what's one thing happening in your industry at the moment, or maybe one challenge or one sort of issue even, and how are you guys addressing that?
So when it comes to applying what we do in media marketing advertising, the core challenge is around AI. Obviously, I mean, you must have heard this from multiple people under multiple different angles.
For a good reason, though,
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great opportunity and great challenge at the same time. From a carbon emission point of view, which is where we focus on, obviously AI is very energy intensive, very energy hungry. Each query we do on GPT, it's 10 times as much energy than a Google query.
Wow, okay.
That's shifting now with Gemini being embedded in Google. But still, it gives you a sense of how much more computing power is behind AI. And AI is not just us asking often stupid questions to GPT, but it's also everything which powers, your Google Maps or Amazon deliveries, etc., etc. So it's more than what we as end customers and consumers might use. With that comes a carbon issue, of course, but also a cost issue, because energy costs money. And I think that's where we're seeing a lot of our clients now saying, hey, we look at our carbon footprint for data services, they went up 5 times in the last 12 months. What do we do about it? So we're looking at how to address that without slowing down the rate of innovation that we need, because AI is also part of the solution.
Absolutely.
You can optimize the way that you build your business, run your logistics, design your products, run your campaigns, of course, to be also less carbon intensive.
10 times ChatGPT. I heard just people saying please and thank you to chatbots, and ChatGPT costs millions a year in dollars, but also in data wastage, right?
Absolutely.
Just computing that.
So we'll end up in a world where politeness is not actually allowed anymore. We'll be robots.
But I'm always have good manners just in case the computers take over. So don't worry, they will remember. That's interesting, and I appreciate you giving me that insight. And maybe kind of looking forwards then, especially in your industry, where do you kind of see us being in 12 months' time? What would be the most discussed topics, or what may change really even in that time?
So, I mean, our industry per se is the carbon management industry. Then we apply that to media marketing advertising. So I can talk a bit about both maybe. Where we are, think because of the macro environment, there's been so let's rewind the tape for a sec.
Yeah.
Between 3 and 4 years ago, lots of people in the carbon management space came to market with different and variable grades of kind of robustness and accuracy. That created a very fragmented and cluttered space. Now we're in this macro environment where things are a little bit less buoyant in terms of the market. So we will see consolidation and also people going out of business in the carbon management space.
Okay.
Now, if we apply that to media marketing advertising, there are not as many players in that space as in the wider emission management business, which is like 40% of our business is outside of MMA, as we call it. If we look at media marketing advertising, not as many players. Still, is there space for as many is a question. I think there is, especially as we make emissions part of a wider, bigger conversation around brand safety and brand suitability, but also cost efficiency when it comes to AI, and more generally, good corporate enterprise management. So I think we're moving from carbon being a silo and a niche to being part of a wider conversation.
Okay.
I think that would be a critical pivot we will see in the industry.
Great. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you, and I really appreciate it. I'm glad we found somewhere in the shade here.
Yes, that's nice. Cheers. Thank you so much.
Have a great can, okay?
Thank you.